Good morning, my people. You're welcome to today's political discussion. Today is the 18th of August, 2025, and we are still discussing Nigerian politics. With the just concluded by-elections on Saturday, the coalition is in disarray. I repeat, with the just concluded by-elections on Saturday, the coalition is in disarray. Now, since Saturday, Atiku, Obi, El-Rufai have not tweeted about the elections. They have not spoken about the elections. What does this mean? It means that the coalition is not yet ready for 2027. I have said this before that you cannot beat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu without a coalition. Only Labour Party, only PDP cannot beat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They need a coalition. And now this test, these by-elections, the coalition has failed the test. The question is, can the coalition still beat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu come 2027? If you're watching this broadcast, I want you to answer the question. Can the coalition still beat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu come 2027? Now, if you look at the political landscape now, things are changing. Things are changing. You don't ride with emotions. I tell you, politics is not emotions. You see, most of these leaders of the coalition, they are riding with the emotions of Nigeria. They are not going to the grassroots to get support. Most people are not on that emotional radar. You see what happened in Oyo State, where PDP won. You saw what happened in Anambra State, where Abga won. You saw what happened in Kano State. This is grassroots politics. The PDP still has themselves together, their acts together. So if you are coming as a coalition, do not ride on sentiment. Let there be actual involvement, engagement of the grassroots. That is the only way you can send a statement, prove a point 2027. As it stands now, the coalition is in disarray. Social media engagements have reduced. If you see the last tweet Peter Obi tweeted, you saw the people watching, the people viewing his status have reduced. Unlike before this election, if Peter Obi put out a tweet, hundreds of thousands of people will have to view that. So they need to understand, those that are working with the coalition, they need to understand that we don't have time. Come together and make sure we organize ourselves. This is my little small candid advice because, like I said, Tinubu destabilized Northern Coalition. I did a broadcast about that, and people will look at this young man. What is he saying? What does he know? You are this and that. I will keep on saying what I'm saying, and you see some of this. I am not perfect. I'm just observing the trends. You understand? The last by-elections, I did a live program. I told you that APC is going to have the day, and at the end of the day, APC had the day. Now, we know that politics is local. We know that some governors in charge of their states, they were able to influence one or two things. But let me tell you, if we remain like this, if the political terrain remains like this, come 2027, the APC can allow governors to win their normal states. But when it comes to presidency, APC will have their day. Some people are asking for electoral reforms. Now, I said, if Peter Obi and Atiku or El-Rufai don't chop wins already, just that he lacks the support. He lacks that grassroots support. Peter Obi and Atiku, let them go and chop wins for them to face President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I've said it. If you don't chop wins, you are going nowhere with President. See, one of the things I asked about is electoral reforms. Now, beyond electoral reforms, how did Kwankwaso beat the APC in Kano? You need a mad people that will be following you, a cult following to beat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You don't need people that are wearing tie and say, in the name of the Father. No. The Bible says the kingdom of heaven suffereth. That is, it sustains itself by violence, taking things by force. Today, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence. So if you want to beat the APC, because the APC, those guys, they are not human beings. I've told you, you people don't know who Tinubu is. Now, it seems Nigerians will come to understand the kind of, if I have Tinubu as an enemy, if I'm running for elections, and Tinubu is the president, I will understand my opponent, his weakness and his strength. Then I'll work on how I can beat that my opponent after making research about his strength and weakness. It is not the last time INEC declared Tinubu winner. Nigerians were willing to come out for revolution, but a particular candidate said, no, no, no. You are following Tinubu and the APC to do no, no, no. How did Buhari and El-Rufai drive Jonathan out of Asurok? If you really want to become Nigeria's president, 2027, maybe after Tinubu now, they can just allow you run what you want to run. But I told you before that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, number one on his mind is not restructuring. Number one on his mind is for him to complete 8 years. Number two on his mind is for him to build his political empire. Number three on his mind, in quotes, allegedly, is for him to restructure Nigeria to suit the Southwest agenda. Restructure Nigeria to suit the Southwest agenda. Now, if you are going to, some people say that Tinubu will learn politics from Tinubu. Good or bad, Tinubu has a way of playing his politics, and it suits the Nigerian factor. In Nigeria today, if you want to play politics, you need to understand how politics is being played. Now, people are shouting online, don't collect money, don't collect 5,000, don't sell your vote, don't sell your vote. Our mothers and fathers were listening. Most of the people shouting online, they don't have voters card. Those that have voters card, the message has not gotten to them. Our mothers online, they were listening and looking at us. As much as 5,000, some people collected money to sell their votes in Nigeria of today. So if you don't understand what is going on, for instance, now, if you want to play if you want to play good politics, politics devoid of wickedness, corruption, electoral malpractice, you need to radicalize people. Start from radicalizing people, going to the grassroots, doing programs, doing all you can to make sure that you see, one thing about the reason why Tinubu is spending on digital media and on the media is because they form your perception. They work on the perception of the people. Look at it now. Some people are just looking, okay, the way APC has done it, they are looking at the coalition as weak. These guys, they're not serious. But look at the APC side. They are standing on their ground. With the criminality, with the structure of criminality, they tell you lie. They don't face. You cannot convince them otherwise. Well, especially now they have political power. Now they have political power. You cannot. But the coalition, they don't have a goal. They're just strange. They're just strange to themselves. They're not organized. They're not pushing for an agenda. There's no system, no understanding. And like I said, the way it is now, as it is now, Tinubu is coasting home to victory 2027. The way it is now, until the coalition organize itself, go to the grassroots and radicalize the grassroots. You need to employ PR, public relations experts that will manage your image, because life is all about image. Life is all about your public image. You might be a bad person. Somebody can come and sell you as a good person to other persons. Look at marketers. A good marketer can sell an average bad product. A good marketer that has communication skills. See, one thing about this life is communication. Even with a bad medicine, there's a way you communicate to people that even that medicine will work for that person. Because that person, you gave that person medicine of communication and he runs with it. How do people get miracles in church? How do people believe and it happens to them? You see, one thing about life is that first, it is your mindset that needs to work. If your mindset is not working, there's nothing else you can do to yourself. Because it's your mindset that will keep you going until you achieve a certain result. So the coalition needs good PR managers, which the APC has. and they are paying them. They are paying them if they really want to create an impact. But you cannot just do things anyhow, and you are not organized. You're not prepared for a particular. The people you are in contest with, you saw the summit in Abuja. You saw the number of persons that went to meet the president. They called it Digital Media Summit. You see the cohesion, how they are organized with political power, with our tax money, our treasury. They are using it to fund propaganda campaign. There are some people that are not even there, that are positioned left, right, center, doing one or two things, because these people, they understand the power of the media. Media is media. You saw the war, the Nigerian Biafran war. You saw what happened, what transpired. Just because British put the tag Igbo coup. Igbo coup. What did Tinubu ask you people during NSAS? He said, where are the bodies? They put it as headline, where are the bodies? To tell you the power of media and propaganda. Propaganda is not, they are not outright lies. Propaganda is showing you a fact. Okay, I will always do this. Let's assume this is white and this is black. White and black. What does propaganda do? There are two styles. There are two truths can coexist. Yes, two truths. But when somebody decides to show you only one part of the truth and tell you as if it is the only thing remaining, he's telling you a fact, but he's trying to convince you on that fact. But there's another fact that you don't know, or that you think you know, but they want to make sure that you remove your mind from this fact, and they convince you about this fact. That is propaganda. So it is you that will make use of what you understand propaganda as. You say, if the coalition does not get the act right, my brother, Tinubu is killing. I did a broadcast. I said, Tinubu dismantle Northern Nigeria. Look at Northern Nigeria today. The top players, the top guys, the actors in Northern Nigeria, they are losing elections anytime, any day. Even in Adamawa State, they beat Atiku in Adamawa. His political godson in Adamawa, Fintiri, they beat Atiku in Adamawa. They beat Obi in Anambra. They beat Erufai in Kaduna. In Northern Nigeria, we have first Atiku, second Erufai. But Kwankwaso, who is seen as a lightweight, somebody says that Erufai has much more clout than Kwankwaso. We understand. But when it comes to actual voting and actual, you see, how does voting go on in Nigeria? Let's look at it. Let's just open some can of worms now. Now, there's an INEC center. There's a polling unit. There's an INEC staff. There are those that transport the NURTW or transport logistics company that transport materials. There are the security officers that follow these materials that also make sure that there's security. Now, if you capture 70% the sentiment of these five, the INEC center, whatever center it is, whether it is Coalition Center or the one in Abuja that they announced election by 4 a.m. INEC center, we have the polling unit there. We have the INEC staff, we have the logistics company, the people that MC Oluomo and co that carry NURTW, saying that them they distribute whatever, or any other private company that's being used by the logistics company. And you have the police, the security officials, both army and police. If you can capture 70% of the sentiment of these people, you have won elections. That is as simple as anything. There's no going. In Nigeria today, looking at the compromise in morals, our fathers, our mothers are selling their votes. What does that tell you? A father that sells his vote, what morals is he going to teach his children? You see, your actions speak louder than your voice. You know, some parents, they get it wrong at every point in time. They think what they tell their children, they shout on their children, they beat their children, will actually make their children change. Your children mirrors your actions. I'm telling you, your actions go a long way in trying to shape your children. Nobody, no child, you see, the things you do will influence your child much more than the things you say to him. That is fact. So like I said, if you can capture 70% of this chain, election chain, my brother, forget judiciary. Now, INEC be the main problem. INEC now ain't go do or whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. I told you before that it is during elections, these guys won't make money. Election time, you go see them. They won't make money. Especially primary elections. All those delegates and co. Some people, they bank on that delegateship to build house. They are praying that... Tell you, if the coalition should understand, under this kind of system, how do I study and make sure that we have a headway? Tinubu, P2P, how did he get popular? Now, Nigerians, generally, they want politicians that are not thieves, that are not greedy. If you have that trait, that is the top priority for Nigerians. A Nigerian will want to vote a politician that is, like said, he's a saint, than one who has performed and is a criminal and thief. Yes. So how did P2P get that popularity? People were tired of Buhari. And whatever it is, southern Nigeria were largely tired of Buhari. Look at it. Now, APC became a menace in southern Nigeria. And they were looking for somebody that, and they don't even like Tinubu in the first place. Tinubu gets so many records. They were even a lot of things against Tinubu on the records. They were using against him to blackmail him. And him bringing the Buhari that even had to punish us. With the whole suffering Nigerians were going through today. Then they suggested the P2B. P2B now came on that rave. Yes, on that rave. And he used it. And he won the elections, but however, INEC had to count it and they declared their own candidate. So if the coalition, from Labour Party, we had the Obedient Movement. APC infiltrated the Labour Party and PDP, and the next is history. They used a lot of things to infiltrate. They used physical presence, they used digital presence, both online and offline. They infiltrated the political parties. They understood that Nigerians are greedy, Nigerians are amoral. You hardly find people that have integrity, that will not sell their souls for money. People are selling their souls for money, not talk of voters card. The coalition does not understand. They need to understand this and how to navigate it in the Nigeria today. But I understand why it is very hard for them to navigate it. It is because Nigeria needs to be restructured. Nigeria like this cannot go anywhere. I'll keep on saying it. I'll say it and I'll say it over and over again. Some people say, look at this small boy. What does he know? Is this and that? I don't know anything, but I'll tell you that as it is now, if Tinubu win the election, Northern Nigeria, their influence will be a thing of the past. Tinubu will go and carry people like Ribadu and Kwankwaso. Now he go make them top guys. When Erufai is alive and Atiku is alive, he go make them their oga. You go see that Bago of Niger State. That Bago, the governor of Niger State. You go see say they will elevate those people. So if you don't understand how to take power from the APC, it is not only by electoral reforms. You must have a lunatic following. A mad people following. People where don't craze. Where today, tomorrow, they are willing to scatter everything so that things go there okay. Look at Kwankwaso, the Kwankwasia movement. They don't send you. They're not following you to do all this ragamuffin, whatever. You can have the social media presence. It goes a long way. But what of the grassroots? What are you doing at the grassroots? What are you doing? What are you doing to address? You need to sabotage a lot of things to get a lot of things. Since 2014-15, I've been studying the politics in Nigeria. I've been studying how these politicians get into power. They do a lot of sabotage. A lot of things are being done. You can do things the right way and get into power, but you don't become dull. You don't just relax and think things are working. No, you must be actively doing something. If it doesn't yield now, it will yield in the future. So the coalition still has an opportunity to upstage the president 2027. They have what it takes to beat President Bola Tinubu, I tell you. Just that they are not organizing themselves. I don't know who is advising them. I don't know who is working with them. I don't know who are those that are working. They need a PR, professional PR. They need an organized team to sell the ADC, the coalition, or whoever that is amongst the ADC. They need organized people that are well funded, because you know, say Nigeria itself has to be. That's what they need. These are the realities of winning elections. Do you think that it's come and say some people will be abroad? Some people, they will be in their house. They don't get voters card, but they will just shout as if say they will scatter elections. Electoral reforms alone. Do you think a Tinubu you see so? Bola Tinubu you see. Do you think Tinubu will come and sit down here and you will come and do electoral reforms? You go do electoral reforms, we go make him lose election. Do you know how desperate these guys are? Do you know how desperate these guys are? So this one, I'm addressing the Northern Coalition, the coalition and whatsoever. You need revolution. How did APC upstage Jonathan? All of them came out and they protest. They went to National Assembly. Shebi Gbajabiamila, he fly fence. He said, I scaled the fence to rescue democracy. So these people will just be in their house, balance, and be saying, we'll do this, we'll do that. My brother, that is not what it entails. If you really want things to work for Nigeria, APC as a party must be demolished. Now, individuals are very important when it comes to elections. We need to demolish this part of the thing, because APC, like, look at the deputy governor of Anambra State and the governorship candidate of APC Anambra State. Look at how an APC governorship candidate was threatening the deputy governor. It tells you the impunity. They look at Tinubu and they mirror Tinubu and the lawlessness. So because they belong to that APC party, they can be lawless in different forms. May God help Nigerians.